Hi, I guess this is just my little video about how I've been using Grasshopper to make shapes that look like moths, really. I guess just a little bit of a documentation of what I've been doing. So, as an introduction, I suppose Grasshopper is a plugin to Rhino. Here's Rhino. Grasshopper sits over the top. And what it is a 3D model, but it's just displayed graphically in a different way. You model like you would normally, except everything you do, every command is one of these little components, and you can arrange the components in a particular order, but then the beauty of it is you can rearrange it, you can go back, and you can adjust parameters that apply to the very start of the modeling process, and it will immediately refresh and update the finished product. So I guess that's really powerful, because what it means is you can model something without being too cautious about what you're doing, how big things are, and then when it's all done, you have the option to go back and change everything you want, everything you've done basically. It gives you a lot more chance of getting what you want in some cases, I think. So this is my Grasshopper definition for a wing sail. This is first go at a wing sail from Moth. And I guess it's just really an experiment to see how easy it is to do, and what the result is. I was particularly interested in what the geometry would be like. I mean, sail geometry is interesting in itself because things have to bend and flatten, but with a design like this where you're trying to actually physically bend things that are already curved, then you get issues, and I just wanted to get a feel for what those issues were. So the beauty of this model is you can actually literally bend it and see what happens. So let's just go through. This here is a component that takes airfoil dimensions, coordinates from like a 2D airfoil package, and creates a 3D model from them, so you don't have to keep going and saving whatever. These things just do things to the foil section. This is all about the plan form, and over here there's a little control panel. Down here, this thing actually takes the airfoil that you've created, does stuff to it, and then spits it out as coordinates again, so you can put it back into your fluid dynamics, Java foil or something, and actually analyze it and see what you've done to change it. And early results from that are very interesting, and it works really well. So I might just play with this just quickly. So this is set up so that it builds the plan form from the leading edge curve and an elliptical plan form. So it creates an elliptical plan form from that curve. And then the trailing edge curve is this red line, and this basically just controls the offset. So when the line is to the right of that vertical line, that means that it's slightly narrower than an ellipse would have been. The ellipse comes out the top, it's just slightly chopped off at the end, and when it's behind, it means it's slightly wider. So you just control the difference from an ellipse that your airfoil is with this. And as you can see, if I move one of these control points, the leading edge curve of the sail updates, and so does the model, which is really neat. And I've got that over here to feed back and give me the area, so I can kind of pull the chord and just get that right until we've got about the right area. Something, isn't it, about that? There's the span. These are just readouts, and then these are other things that you can edit. So you've got your main sheet angle, for instance. You can sheet the wing out, see what it's going to look like. You've got twist, so you can let it fall off or induce negative twist. This is this is where the back of the solid front section would be. You can move that and move this. So it just sort of changes the geometry of how the airfoil changes at each station all the way up. So at the end of the day, the end of this whole definition, it applies all of those things to it, and then it gives you a top surface and a bottom surface, which you can then bake into Rhino. And if I close that, we have a surface that we can then mesh, or not mesh, and output to fluid dynamics. See how it performs. It doesn't actually tell us how it performs, but draws pretty lines of air flowing around it. Anyway, that's my introduction to Grasshopper. It's a free download, and I would highly recommend, if you're a Rhino user, that you have a go with it, because it makes some things that you do so much easier. Cheers.